probably it's slumped in left and right, and where this was all backfilled up the sides, it's all in the old trench. But I think, I get the impression, we've lost sediment as well, and it looks like it went that direction.
Yeah.
So it may be blocked further ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it was walking to this point, wasn't it?
Stooping walking, yeah, and if you had a little bell like this,
and
you could stand up.
And now it's crawling all the way.
Probably right to here, isn't it? Where
Yeah, this is just the point where this is where it got lower and was definitely hands and knees. But again, the sides of the walls have all slumped in. Yeah. Do we push on?
Yeah.
We're here at Pete's penthouse. Ahead, going into the cave, there's more evidence that the sides have slumped. And just 2 metres ahead, it's impassable, it's slumped in. We've barely got 6 inches to the roof, left to right, barely 12 inches. There's a tide line up at Pete's penthouse, about 6 inches above the roof that we put with the shoring. So, yeah, it doesn't look good. This is where we used to wait as people exited with full barrows, and people were waiting to go back into the tunnel. Quite clearly there's a scum line about 8 inches above the roof. What used to be stooping height is now pretty much flat out to get out. No longer stooping height passage to exit, it's all slumped in, and this is the entrance to Inlet 8. It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
There's perhaps just beside you above another indication of the scum line coming around. But yep, it's been inundated with the main water from the main streamway. The entrance to 6.5 3/4, David's lights just in there where the first poo crab is. There's a definite tide line again, and these, well, they're not snotites, but there's some kind of fungal form dripping off the ceiling. There's a slightly higher line up here as well, so definitely 6.5 3/4 has also been inundated by the floodwaters. All this sand in front must have been deposited here, because it was about at least 2 feet, maybe 2.5 foot lower than that. It looks fresh, you know. So we'll just have to see how far inside it becomes totally impassable. 6.5 3/4, we've just come through the 2 poo crabs, pop-up air bells, and this is where it used to just dip down, the lowest point, flat out, and then a bit more spacious beyond. It's now full, this really soft sand, reminiscent of the sand that we dug through for the last sort of 5 metres when the handshake connection took place. And I'm thinking that actually it's been blasted from Inlet 5 out towards the main streamway. Behind Bog, where he's got the camera now, there's big chunks of the clay fill that we had dug on this section that have collapsed in, but this is really soft sand. Looks like it's been blown, or at least pushed through from Inlet 5. But there's certainly no way on at the moment. My feet, there's not even an inch airspace down there. If we wanted to reopen it, you're talking at least from this point digging down 3 feet, probably all the way out. Quite a major undertaking. Well, it'd be relatively easy to dig to that point because, you know,
I bet it gets done pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It's the
Everybody likes it, don't they?
and you know, it's not very far to haul back to dump it in the streamway again. We're at the first air bell, and as you can see, there's large, really large. This is what, 3 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot wide mud bank just slumped in. There's another here, making it all rather spacious, to be honest. But if we wanted to re-establish the connection through, we'd obviously have to start here from and drive the passageway. Relatively speaking easy, because dumping ground's only a couple of metres away, but the further you go in, the further you've got to drag your spoil out. But not an insurmountable task. Again, are we seeing a tide line in your light there?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been up to at least this sort of height for some while, with the foam deposited around the edges. So we're just let out at the entrance. You can still see some of the little fibres hanging down from this ceiling, and there's definitely a channel with this block of clay in it, and that you can clearly see the water has come from Inlet 5 and washed out in this direction. All the ripples on the sand, the flow has definitely come out of Inlet 5 back into the main streamway. A reverse angle shot. All this, again, soft sediment being blasted out from Inlet 5. The original floor must have been a good 2 foot below this, so I think that it's all been blown out 6.5 3/4 during the highest flow, and then as it began to subside, you've had this channel cut to the sort of left hand side here as the waters began to recede. So again, further evidence that Inlet 5 at this flooding episode came into the main streamway of Notts II.